Yeah, sorry about the cutoff. I think my network or the Zoom is trying to give me some signals. Yeah, so what I'm saying, what I was saying was the funding stages, as in steps. Sorry, in funding, there are some steps and there are some things you need to follow to be able to get the required funding. And one of the steps is that whoever you are pitching your investment to, whoever you are pitching your investment to, will give you a deadline or a timeline on when to submit your investment or whatever application or whatever type of funding you require. So one of the steps is that after your feasibility studies, your business plan, in your business plan is where you put your feasibility studies and how the market, how you want to capture the market. You understand? So it's very important that also your financial plan, in your whole business, your financial plan, and if you are existing business and you already have a business before now, then you'll be talking about your tax and your cash flow. So it's very necessary that you capture all how you've been selling, the revenue that you've gotten, and also if you have an audited report. It is very important that you get an accountant to prepare an audited report. You understand? Then also business evaluation. Business evaluation is most prominent and most common with those that pitch their business to venture capitalists or people that want to get equity in your business. They want to value your business. And when you are valuing a business, when you want to value your business, your assets, you understand, your product, secret trade, and some other patents are very, very important. These are some of the things that will make your business to be more valuable. So if you are producing um, if you are producing like cocoa powder and you need an investment worth say 50 million, and before you can get that 50 million, the person you are pitching to is someone that is going to be getting an equity in your business. Now, in your business plan, your product, and if the funding you are requiring is to get machinery and also get distribution, as in trucks to deliver your product, everything is going to be inside the business plan on, okay, this is how I'm going to spend the money and stuff like that. So before you can get that kind of huge amount from your investor, you need to prove to your investor that my business, if given this amount, this fund, this capital, is going to be worth so amount in say 3 years, in say 5 years, so you have to have a projection, because in your business evaluation you must be able to project your business for like 5-10 years on where you are going, because the person is bringing huge capital into your fund, into your company, into the business investment. You understand? So it is very necessary, it's very, very key very key that when we are pitching, all these steps has to be in place and has to you should have done, and checklist it. Okay, my business plan, is it well up to date? My financial plan, is it up to date? My tax, is it up to date? The traction, your customer, your cash flow, is it up to date? My audited report, is it up to date? The business evaluation, have you captured the assets, my trade secret, everything? And before you even pitch, make sure you have a non-disclosure agreement, whoever you are pitching to. A non especially if the person needs equity in your business. But for many online funding, many online platforms that it will be there. Some don't used to have any non-disclosure agreement. All they need is that pitch, and they will give you a template on what they want to capture from your business. They want to know what's your business about, your value proposition, your employee, how much do you earn monthly, what's the revenue, what's your margin. All these things are very key in terms of preparing yourself for funding. So these are the steps, and these are the fund category. Now, I said it before now that you're in the early stage. The type of funding you should be looking out for is either a seed capital or angel investor. So for the angel investor, most times they don't look for equity, or they just want to support your business as a social impact, or you know they can even be a family member that believes in you and every other thing. You understand? So once you move to the next stage, then you start thinking of grants, international grants, which also they don't get interest. They don't Some don't ask for, most don't even ask for equity, but most or few of them ask for matching equity. Matching equity means that if you are seeking for like 100 million, they want you to be able to prove that you have 15 million on ground, you know, to couple with the 50 that they are going to be giving you in tranches. You understand? So, and that 15 million on ground doesn't actually mean cash or actual uh, money, as in liquid money, as in cash. It sometimes means equity, as in my assets and your market size. As in, okay, you've been able to capture 1,000 customers. It's part of value. It's part of your equity. Or you've been able to acquire some machines that are worth millions of naira. You understand? All your stock is part of equity. That is, if you still have present stock in your inventory, it is part of your equity. Your factory, everything is part of your equity. The people, uh, your experts that you've been able to train over time, they are part of your equity. So these are the things you will quantify to present, so that they'll be able to know that, okay, this person really can access these funds. Then for government intervention in different countries, we have different government subsidy and government intervention. So for some of the government intervention, most of them are always zero-digit interest rate. You understand? So some are grants that they give to their SMEs at a zero interest rate. And for business loan is always double digits. Business loan from bank, especially from commercial banks, is always double digits. But I don't always advise any food processor or food smallhold farmer to access or to apply for bank loans, because ordinarily agriculture has to be subsidized. It's a high risk business, so it has to be subsidized. So why go for funding that is also high risk, because you have to start paying interest rate on it. So if your business go bad, then it means you are already in a very big problem. So for venture capitalists, they always ask for equity, and your business have to be up to date. So for venture capitalists, this is what they are after. They are after your business evaluation. You understand? You must have presented to them that, okay, if you invest so money, in the next 10 years, you can get this. In the next 10 years, this business is going to get to this level. So that's for best venture capitalists. So this is the growth stage for farming. For farming, the growth stage is that once you are applying for fund, then your fund has to be specific to what do you want to use the fund for. So is it for farm input? That is it for raw material if you are in processing? Is it for farm tools? That is, do you need it for machines, you know? Or is it for manpower, you know, that is your working capital? Or is it for production, that is for marketing? You understand? You want to use it to acquire more market. You already have the machine, but the fund you need is just to do more marketing to get more market, or for distribution and expansion. You understand? So you have to be specific on whatever you want to use your funding to do, because your funding can never cover everything at once unless you have a connection with the presidency of any of your country or the ministry of agriculture that disburse funds, or maybe you are a family to any of the billionaires. You understand? Because your capital, as in the fund that you get, cannot always capture everything. So you have to focus on priorities. Which one is my priority at this stage? Is it my family to be able to be productive? Is it my machinery? Is it my marketing? Is it the branding? You know, you have to be specific. So once you are specific, then you know that my fund, any fund that comes in, this is what I want to use it to do. So these are the stages, and these are the caption of the different captions that you have to focus on and make priority according to your own specification. So the requirements. Now I will give you some. This is based on some links or some investment opportunity here in Nigeria. For those that are in Nigeria, I'll be sharing some links with every other person based on international. There are some that is international, but you know, because of this belief and hype about Africa being the food basket of the world or being the food hub, you know, we have a lot of land mass, you know, we have a lot of youth growing population. So many investments or many companies, international companies, wants to invest in some African countries. And that is why it's very paramount and it's very necessary that we need to get our books right and we need to prepare our minds. So these are some of the requirements, as in some of the circle of investment. For this TEF means Tony Elumelu Foundation, is an entrepreneurship foundation that offers grants to 1,000 entrepreneurs in Africa. So I think they postponed, because of this pandemic, they postponed this year's offering, this year's circle, to next year. So this Etana too is the platform that also offers funding, and their cycle is always 12 months. That is from the application to when you get the fund. You can see. So most of these applications, most of these fund providers, they don't, once you apply to them, don't mean that you get fund immediately. And that's why you need to start preparing ahead of time. You need to have your books, you need to update as I went do. If you have a business plan already on how to expand your business, then you need to review it to reflect the um, economic indices that we are facing now. So you can't use what you have 6 years back to project for another 5 years or 10 years. You have to use the current situation, tweak your business plan, tweak your style, and see how you are going to suit the market, the emerging market. So this is WAFAM, that is the West African Food Market. This is NISAL Smiden, is a government intervention fund. These are banks that offer agri loans, and their cycle is 6 months with your cash flow, because most times the banks will ask you that before you can access any money from them, they want to see how much has been coming in to your account and going out. No matter how small, they want to just see the return. So they will always ask you for a 6 month cash flow. You understand? So for this one is 4 to 6 months before you get the funding. Then this is Sahel. Sahel Capital is an African venture capital that support agribusiness. There's Elevate, there's AgroLay, there's Impulse. I think Impulse, the application is on now. The application is on. And most of these companies, most of these venture capitalists have a peg. They have a kind of, when I mean peg, some invest in some type of capital. When I mean some type of capital, they don't invest in small investment. Like Sahel, when I met with the CEO of Sahel in one of the events, and I asked him about what are they looking for in any agro business, and he was telling me that they invest in businesses that make a return, that have a turnover of $1 million. You can see $1 million. So if your business is cannot make a return one, they won't even invest in you. So this is why whatever you are doing or whatever you are projecting have to have a huge capacity to accommodate a bigger market space. You understand? So when we are pitching to investors like this, they know that, oh yeah, when we put this money, we can really make something out of it. Sahel has funded Ace Foods. Ace Foods is owned by Madam Mrs. Ine, Inika. I don't know her full name. Eh, So Elevate also, they support agro processing. And most times, these are the requirements they ask. They will always ask you for 2 years, 3 years audited reports with a six, and the cycle of you getting the fund is at least 6 months. So once you have your documents in place, then once you apply, it takes about 6 months to get the funding. So also, you can get funding through ROI, return on investment. You can, if you have a capacity, first of all, you should have a plan on how to exhaust whatever capacity that you are already producing before you even go for funding. You understand? If I'm able to produce 1,000 crates of eggs every day, I, am I selling these eggs and people are demanding, or I have a glut of eggs? So these are the things you should be looking at. Is it that I'm having a challenge distributing my commodity or my product, or I'm having a challenge getting funding to meet the demand? There are two things. So if I'm having a challenge to get more to meet the demand, then you should be seeking for investment. But if you are having a challenge on getting people to get your products, that is a different ball game. It means you need to expand your market, and you need to restructure your market and your distribution network, which we discussed yesterday. So these are the requirements for pitching your businesses. You must be legal. You have a legal entity registered by the regulatory body. Then you have your audited report, minimum 2 or 3 years. Then you have referral, 3 year referral letter from organizations that you have supplied or you do business with. You understand? These are very important in terms of packaging your business for investment. And now, as a business startup, all businesses are startups, no matter how big you are, because it takes a period, it takes years before you get to the peak. For example, Facebook started as an online, meeting friends, meeting this. It took them so many years before they started generating revenue. But in the agro space, you will think that because you are selling food or you are selling something that people consume instantly, then you start making money instantly or start making profit. It's not like that. So you need to have a plan, you need to have a projection, and you need to draw that, have a cost breakdown of from your ground zero to where you want to your target market. You understand? So this is a typical startup circle. Now you look at this circle. Someone started with an idea. You know, you have to have a prototype. Then you show it to some people. That is at this stage, it's still early stage. So you show it to the after you done your prototype. Early stage, you have some few customers. Then you what? You tweak it. You get partners, that is your team. You find a co-partner, you build the team. It could be your team, it could be machines for production capital. Then also, then what? You now register for a bigger fund here. Now you are looking for fund, then you relaunch your product. You understand? Once you are able to relaunch your product, then you move up. You understand? Then you get more customer demand. You are able to move up and scale and get more funding. But once you get to this point, once you get to this stage, this is the early stage, this is your growth stage. Once you get to this stage and you're not able to scale, then it means you have to retweak and relaunch again before you get to the final stage of scaling. So this is a typical circle. Every business has its own circle, its own cost breakdown circle. You understand? So now, this is what I call in your financial, this is the financial plan. These are the things you should be looking out for. Your gross profit, you know, your costs, the cost of goods sold, your operational expenses before you now talk about your net profit. These are the things you should look out for. Here, the cost of goods sold is your sales. And here is your expenses. How much did it cost me to produce 1,000 goods? You understand? So here is all your expenses, and here is the margin where you are going to get revenue to offset the expenses and also make profit out of it. So this will give you this is just a template to give you a good understanding of how to prepare your business, your financial plan. But you have to consult accountants, either freelance accountants or professional accountants, to help you and guide you, present your business, your financial plan, so that they capture every aspect of your business in your projection. You understand? Once you are projecting for more than 2 years and above. So this is now this is with all what we've been discussing so far. I just wanted to show you a company and how they have been able to focus on their primary raw materials and how they've been able to engage some farmers for traceability. This is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola company, and you look at it here, these are one of the core primary raw materials, and they source it from over 5 million farmers around the globe. You understand? So they have a map. So this gives you a kind of explanatory or a kind of understanding on how food processing, how they map out things and how they capture everything that they try to, all the inputs in their processing line. So from the raw material, from those that they engage in getting the raw material, where it comes from, like that, and the sustainability source. So when I mean sustainability source, the farm that those raw material comes from, the climate change is part of sustainability, the farm practice is part of sustainability, you understand? The inputs, what they put to get the harvest return, the yield. So it's part of sustainability. It is food traceability. So I'll be showing, this is some of the food crops and also the value, what you can derive from it. You understand? So I'll be showing you a video, then we'll close for today and ask questions, give room for questions, you know, give room for questions. So I just want to share with you. To share with you a video about, okay, not this. So you can start asking your questions while I try to, you can ask your questions. I really appreciate everyone for the time. You can ask questions, and we'll be, those that I'm going to be sending some questionnaires for us to be able to, So in that video, you see that with all the noise and all the hype about agriculture, Africa being the biggest hub for agriculture, blah blah blah, you see that you won't find any African countries on this list as of 2017. And you can see, I showed you the last time that in 2017, Netherlands was the second largest exporter of food products. You can see. So where is the African, you can see, which means we have a lot of opportunity and we have a lot of work, a lot of um, prospects if we want to beat any of these countries. And the best time is now because most of these countries are facing a huge crisis in resulting, which is from this pandemic. So it's affecting them, and we have to prepare. And because these countries already have a food safety measure and food standards, the question we should be asking ourselves is how do we merge and peer compete with these countries in terms of food safety to be able to even put one or two countries on the list of top 10 exporter. So until we are able to be able to and export, you can see, and I said it that the export, when we talk about export, it doesn't mean that we are exporting to any of these countries, but we are exporting out of our region to other countries. So if Nigeria is able to export to Ghana, is able to export to Niger, to South Africa, it's still export. Because Netherlands top buyer was Germany, Belgium, and UK. Where's the UK here? You see, UK is not even here in the top 10 as of 2017. You understand? So it takes us to collaborate with ourselves as agropreneurs, agro suppliers within our own continent. And one of the good things is that now that the AU, the African Union, has opened its doors to the charter to be able to move goods from one place to another with less tariff, then it's a very good opportunity. And one country, some of the countries that will highlight that we should start looking at is number one, Kenya, Ethiopia, South Africa, Nigeria, Rwanda, Angola, Ghana, Morocco, Egypt. These are countries that we should start looking at how we are commodity. If we are we are close or we are in any of these countries, we should start looking at how we can export and do trade within ourselves. Imagine if we have 10 African countries on this list. It means that our technology, the way we do our business, have to be superb to be able to move and get up to this list. So I thank you very much for this time. I'll use the remaining minutes to answer questions and also to prepare our mind that we have a huge task ahead and we should always be prepared and ready to collaborate with people and share ideas with ourselves. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time. You're welcome. So if you have your questions, today is and I'll be sharing for, please, I'll put my email here so that we can send me kindly. Okay. Yes, of course. Yes, we discussed about that yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday and day for yesterday, talking about the storage and the cold chain logistic for vegetable. And yes, of course, and also foods. Of course, we've discussed about this at the first class. Today was our last class. We discussed about food traceability, food safety integrated into horticulture. We discussed about it. We discussed about it. Yeah. Yes. So I'll share the slide. Send me your details. I'll share the slide with everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the time. I'll share the slide with everyone and the video links of all what we've been discussing so far. So engage me, send your details to me so that we can keep on engaging ourselves. Thank you very much. Yes, yes, I've noted your email. You send me your email. Okay, okay, yes. Thank you.